Okay, so Belgium played Iceland in the opening game of Group D in the Women's Euros. A very interesting game. There's two penalties. The second half, I think, was better quality than the first half. One penalty's missed, but overall a very interesting game. What I've noticed with all the draws there have been is that no one wants to shut the game down and settle for the draw. I've noticed teams are trying to win the game outright. And I think teams have realised how crucial it is to win your opening game. If this was the men's Euros or the men's World Cup, you would see teams around 85, 90 minutes maybe settle for a draw, start to take the sting out of the game. This is not happening in this Women's Euros, which is refreshing. Just going to put that out there. But the first half, the highlight of the first half is the penalty and the penalty miss. It is a handball, and under the current interpretation of handball that we've had over the last couple of years, it does go to VAR. It is given as a penalty. And Thorvaldardottir, yeah, that is how you pronounce that name, misses the penalty. And that is a crucial turning point because that missed penalty has proven crucial to the outcome and the result of this game. Because Iceland score first after half time, so that's midway through the first half. There's the missed penalty, and it's the correct decision. VAR has worked; it's done its job. The VAR check was very, very quick. None of this lengthy delay. VAR seems to be working in this tournament now. Thorvaldardottir scores a goal as on second phase after a free kick. Belgium cannot clear their lines, and she stays in the box. The ball's crossed back in, and it's a bullet of a header. It goes to a VAR check because she is very, very close to being offside. Again, VAR does its job, does it quickly. There's no time wasted. There's no delay. VAR's working. She's just onside, by the way. And it looked like she could possibly have been on the verge of being offside, but it's the correct decision. That's on 50 minutes. Suddenly, Belgium have to come out and play. Belgium have been second best up to this point. Belgium are now on top. This wakes them up. They start creating chances because it's been all Iceland at this point on the creative side and attacking side and creating opportunities. Iceland had double-figure numbers of corners as well, which is very, very striking. Belgium only had a handful of, I think, 2 or 3 corners. Iceland, I think, had about 11 corners in the game. Shows where the attacking areas of the map would be on the heat map. Iceland were dominating on the attacking style of play. However, Belgium get their penalty. It is a reckless challenge. Van Havermaet scores the penalty very calmly, and now it's 1-1. And this is where the game completely opens up. And defending, well, they're all over the place, both sides. They're far too open. But as the latter stages of the second half wear on, it's more Iceland doing more of the concentrated attacking, counter-attacking, and finding the runs and finding the gaps to exploit. And what I find interesting about Iceland in general is for a country of such small population, just over 300,000 people, the fact that both the men's and women's sides have now regularly qualified for international football tournaments. Considering the population size and how many top quality, especially on the men's game, top level professional players we have had over the last 20 years. Eidiger Johnson being obviously one of the most famous, Heimir Hreiðarsson. For such a small population size and such a small population base, how many top quality players have actually been produced by Iceland? But this Icelandic women's team won't die wondering. They are very, very attack-minded. Defending, yeah, I have some concerns about them defensively. Belgium, underwhelmed. They've obviously got a bigger player base, bigger population base, but Belgium, underwhelmed. I'm not sold on this Belgian side going forward, having enough in them to be creative enough. And defensively, they couldn't deal with crosses and set plays very effectively. It was very, very rushed defensively, failing to pick up players, which leads to the Icelandic goal. And they were very, very open. Both sides kept turning the ball over a lot. I think they were trying to win the game, knowing that Italy are clearly the favourites in this group, and a win is crucial to help progress to the next rounds. There was none of this time wasting to wind the clock down. Both sides were still attempting to win the game right up to the final whistle, which is refreshing. I think the men's game could learn something from that. And I think what we're starting to see in football in general is less of that time wasting in the corner, less of that gamesmanship. I think it is starting, teams are realising, let's not settle for a draw, let's try and get the win, because when you start easing off the throttle a little bit, much like Switzerland did against Portugal yesterday, you actually cost yourself because the opposition are given an opportunity to play themselves into the game and then score goals and pull the scoreline back, is what Portugal did yesterday. Iceland took a little bit of foot off the gas a little bit, and Belgium get back in the game. So what we've seen is in the last 3 games, because I watched a bit of the Sweden-Netherlands game, the team that goes in front doesn't hold on to the lead, and the team that is behind gets back into it, makes it interesting, and then forces the other side to come out and play. It was refreshing. I think it wasn't the best defensive display by either side, but in an attacking sense, if you're going to have such an open style of play, you're going to have a lot of chances. That was entertaining, very, very entertaining. And I think the weather conditions contributed to maybe a little bit of fatigue kicking in a little bit. It's nearly been 30 degrees today. It's been very hot. There's not a lot of wind, and that heat can be quite oppressive. And I think that's contributed to some of these games being actually very, very open. And defending being sloppy and mistakes happening, which is kind of actually refreshing to watch. It makes it more entertaining. But there we go. That's my review of this match. I'll have obviously the review of the Italy match coming up. Me, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And I will have some more videos for you very, very soon.